Hello and welcome aboard to a stream from K-BAS. It has been a while, people. Hope everyone's doing well. This is my late Happy New Year's. Hope all is well. I think I just said it before. Either way. So, have been gone for a while. Definitely some things have definitely turned up and came about. So, this is going to be sort of my little, that's a spring cleaning. Let's not say spring cleaning. This is my little up to date of what's going on my end. But first, let me get the game that I want to play on so we're not just looking at a empty screen. Yeah. So, again, New Year. A lot of things have happened. I'm actually pretty sure some people might be asking where some of the content I'm making besides just randomly dropping match videos I've had. So what have I been up to? Give me a moment. So what have I been up to? Well, I guess one thing I can say is, let's see. Well, actually, I think I might have a co-host for a podcast. Me and my homeboy Ghost been talking a bit about trying to possibly just do a podcast of certain things. That's it, certain things. We think we're doing a podcast on certain topics and whatnot. Initially, I wanted to focus only on just fighting games, but he really suggests that I be more flexible in that regards and whatnot. So I'm going to keep that in mind and whatnot. So we might just do more than just fighting game related topics. We'll see. We'll definitely see. So let me first get myself used to the controllers. I'm playing. Yes. Actually, can I restart? Yes, we got restart level. Good stuff. It has been a while since I played this. So, probably the first thing on the docket, there is definitely that beta for King of Fighters. So I guess maybe I can say, hey, what's going on with that? How is my feeling? What's my feelings on that? Well, besides Dolores, no, that's the first beta. Actually, let's see, there was Rio, there was Ronin, Mitsukun, yeah. So I like what they did with Mitsukun. Mitsukun feels a bit more flexible in that regards and whatnot. So I'm happy with that. Okay, there we go. That's how you do that. Yeah. I'm trying to pay attention and I'm not doing a good job of that. But I'm supposed to use my gun to stall the timer, not actually hit enemies with it. Or rather not try to kill enemies with it. Also, don't I have a dash button? I'm trying to remember. Ah, there we go. There we go. So, yeah, we have a dash button. So with the King of Fighters beta, I really didn't enjoy it as much since there was really only one character I wanted to play, which was Mitsukun, and I wasn't that invested into trying to learn to play with any other characters and try to just get matches going. I kind of have my faith that SNK know what they're doing with online, and maybe I should use that to segue to the thing that's kind of been a grievance of me. But actually, before that, yeah, we also got word of Persona. I should have stayed on topic. Let me stay on topic. So yeah, got a chance to try the Mitsukun. That's a Mitsukun. Got a chance to try the King of Fighters beta, which was pretty interesting in that regards. At least if I was playing with Mitsukun. But I was already even so on King of Fighters. That's it, King of Fighters 15, because it pretty much is King of Fighters 14, but better. It's like King of Fighters 14 2.0, which I already thought King of Fighters 14 was already pretty good and decent. So we just got some quality of life stuff and whatnot. So there's that. So I'm already pretty sold on the game. So I don't even really need a beta. I guess I just wanted to see how it's going to feel in certain areas. Outside of that, yeah, I wasn't that much crazy to play that beta. So I definitely played a bit more of Dungeon Fighters Duel beta, and for the most part, I would say it's kind of fine. I'm not actually anxious for it per se, or rather, what I can say is I like playing Crusader. Oh dear God, that's gonna be a problem. Sorry about that. So basically, I have no real opinion of Dungeon Fighter Duel for the most part. I'm not really particularly enthusiastic about it, not because it's a bad product, but because it also doesn't really feel that different, new, or engaging to me. At best, I like the character Crusader a lot because I don't think we have a character like Crusader that often in games. Like a character like Crusader, one with who's good at playing slow, methodical, defensive, and shutting down people and whatnot. Like those are not characters you really don't see in a base roster. Usually they're reserved for later on because, well, who really wants to play characters like that? Not a whole lot of people. So the fact that he was in a base roster and then he kind of just have all the things I would like as a character. He has good buttons. He has a counter. He has a DP, a very good DP at that. He has armor moves. So he almost has everything I want personally from me as a character. Even zoning, yeah, he even has zoning tools too. A pretty good projectile. So basically, I was enjoying playing Crusader more than I was really enjoying Dungeon Fighter as a game, if that's anything to say. Because if I didn't have him, I don't think I would have enjoyed the game nearly as much. So there's that. And I guess the main reason why I can even say I don't really enjoy Dungeon Fighter that much is because it's not really doing anything new for me per se. Like, it seems like the thing that makes people most like it the most, outside of the fact that it's another 18 game, which I already have 18 games with Tatsunoko, or even whatchamacallit, I forgot the name of the game. Yeah, Zoe's Wild Blast. I already have Zoe Wild Blast, so I already kind of have an idea what 18 does and what the games do. So, but I guess for lack of a better wording or description, people do feel like it is a, I guess, quote unquote, better Grand Blue. And I could sort of see where they're coming from with that, since Grand Blue, I feel one thing that I felt Grand Blue was missing was kind of a Roman Council thing. Like, not because it's an art system staple, but because most games now give you some form of a Roman Council, or way to cancel option to regain like a neutral state, or allow more open-ended possibility of things and whatnot. So I did feel that was missing from Grand Blue, and Dungeon Fighter Duel is offering that. I can say that very much. They are offering that. So I'm going to do that one more time because I really wasn't paying attention as much. I'm trying to get back the feel of this. So yeah, Dungeon Fighter, because they got that conversion mechanic, that's pretty interesting with that. And I guess doing commands to other commands is also pretty neat. Not anything new, but I guess kind of neat. But one of my probably main personal gripes about Dungeon Fighter Duel is it actually does follow a bit of the same issue I had with Grand Blue, where, like, alright, for starters, you give us a block button in a game where that's trying to have traditional mix-ups, and the downside is, I think there's almost no downside, or rather, I think someone did not confirm the downside is you take more damage, your guard gauge takes more damage, which, I guess, personally, my opinion, if you're already used to the regular blocking, then there's almost no reason to really use the block button. I guess maybe for some cross-up scenarios. But once again, if you do that, then you are going to take more guard gauge. And it just feels, if anything, maybe convoluted for no reason. It's the same thing even with button commands. Like, you have the ability to do your commands as a button, but then you also have the ability to just do it regularly. And there basically is pros and cons to each one. And maybe because of my ignorance, but it just feels like, well, if I can do the commands regularly and I offset the con of, oh, if you do your commands, you suffer a much longer cooldown. But if you don't use the button, I'm not even sure that's the problem. Let me reword that. If you do your commands in Dungeon Fighters Duel the regular traditional way, you get faster MP recharge, or better yet, less cooldown, for lack of a better term. While if you do it with the command button, you suffer a much longer quote-unquote cooldown, or I guess MP regeneration. And basically, I just almost see very little to no reason to really just even use the simple method, because it seems more like a contrast, but it just seems like you're handicapping yourself more by using the buttons, using the button commands instead of just doing it traditionally, because now you're limiting yourself on options. And basically for me, that just doesn't seem like an organic way of trying to, it doesn't seem like an organic way of making things simple. It's like saying, you could do it this way, but there's a problem and cost for it, and there's another superior way to do it. And in my opinion, I just don't think a game needs to go that route. Sorry, we got games like Blade Stranger. Blade Stranger was made in mind the fact that, hey, you could do your commands as a button. There is no traditional way to do it because that's just how the way it was designed. So there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You don't have to think, oh, do I need to do the command regularly or, I don't need to think about whether I do the commands regularly or if I do it traditionally. It's just, well, we designed this game this way and you just operate with how that game is designed. And that just feels organic to me. Professor Breaker also does it. So I'm just like, well, why even bother doing it? And here's the thing, this isn't even anything new with Dungeon Fighter Duel. We had like Guilty Gear, Etzer, and Blaze Blue that had their quote-unquote stylish mode where, hey, we'll allow you to do commands in a non-traditional way, simplified way, but we're going to take away these mechanics or this control functionality, which then just hinders the player from trying to learn and play, which is why it's not recommended for people to really even learn playing that matter, because you're essentially playing a different game and more or less an inferior game by doing that and whatnot. And the games where they weren't inferior, such as, let's say, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, like they had simple mode, but tournaments and competitive play disable that. They even rank disable it because we didn't have these games in mind. It doesn't fit that, and it will be overpowered for that. Which, yes, that's definitely the case for that. So I just feel we should just either go all of one way or all of another way. If you're going to do traditional controls, stick with traditional controls and just stick with traditional control. Like, it's an issue that people have right now with King of Fighters 15. Like, right now, King of Fighters 15 now allows people to do an auto combo with standing A, and most people don't really like it because they feel they're locked out of using their standing A attack or light punch attack, because doing it would then start the auto combo and whatnot. So people are like, hey, do you have a way to just turn this off? Because in the end, they feel like it's hindering their gameplay, or rather, it limits them in their ability to use certain strategies or tactics. Which, more or less, I do kind of agree with. I would like to be able to just use my standing light attack and whatnot. And I think games should just do that. Don't try to do this weird middle ground where we want to do both ways, but we have a clear bias towards one particular method. No, just go all one way or another way and just kind of be done with that. Just be done with that. Make your game do traditional controls, so that people who want to play it will just learn to play that game with its traditional controls. Or if you're going to go simplified control, make sure you design your game around the idea that it has simplified controls. So, personally, because of me and that standpoint, that's why I don't really gain anything out of Dungeon Fighters Duel, outside the fact that, okay, I'm seeing cool characters on screens. I mean, it's another fighting game, so I like that. We have another fighting game on our hands that we could try to sink our teeth into and whatnot. So that's still nice and everything. So yeah, that's why, if anything, that's why I didn't really make any much commentary about either games, because for the most part, they're not really doing anything new or exceptional that's gaining my attention. Or besides the fact that, like I said, again, Dungeon Fighter Duel, they have a Crusader as a character. Like, I'm more engaged with Crusader as a character than I am about Dungeon Fighter's system as a game. I don't think the system is bad, since I did think it is offering the thing that I felt Grand Blue was missing, which was like some type of counseling system equivalent to let's say a Roman council system and whatnot. Like, it feels a bit more open. Because Grand Blue is definitely a deliberate game, which, to be fair, I'm not against deliberate games, but you can still do deliberate games and give options. For example, I feel Kohime Koheman doesn't need to give me any Roman Council because I feel the options they give me is enough to justify what type of game it is. Same thing with Samurai Showdown 5 Special. Same thing with whatchamacallit, Aquapaza. Like, there is no Roman Council in those games, and that's kind of fine because there's enough freedom. I feel there's enough freedom and option of expression to do basically whatever tactic or strategy I want, and well, if anything, play that way. And that's not. While Grand Blue is very much, we designed this character to play this way, and there's really is no deviation about that, which is kind of fine, but I still, like I said, again, personal as a purpose, then I like where the game still gives you options, and that is what Dungeon Fighter is doing. Like Dungeon Fighter Duel, character has different stats. When characters get to less than 30%, they get specific perks and benefits. So you still get the, if anything, deliberate gameplay style and whatnot, but there's still some freedom in, like, let's say for starters, okay, I could choose, if someone's locking me down, I could choose to guard council or not guard council. I can choose to use conversion when I want to. Either hold on to my conversion to regain my lost health. That's a conversion. Regain my sorry. When you have gray life from like taking chip damage or whatnot, I can either choose to spend that gray life to do a Roman Council like thing to push some advantage or make myself safe, or I can be, well, no, let me not use the conversion mechanic and just get my life back. So now I have kind of like a choice of how I want to proceed with the scenario and whatnot. And Grand Blue, I feel like that's really not that present that often, outside of, okay, do I want to use this command and, you know, suffer cooldown or not? And at competitive level play, it already feels like getting a knockdown is way more important than trying to do bit damage or a lot of stuff. Like almost every hit a person get, they immediately use the EX move so they could get a knockdown and try to run an Okizeme and whatnot. At least that's how I currently feel how Grand Blue does seem to be played from the matches I was seeing and whatnot. Boy, I am doing poor on my scoring. Well, then again, I'm not fully concentrated. Wait, you made that follow too? Well, okay. Note to self, when I get near a candy bar or vending station, let me say vending station. When I get to a vending station, don't touch it or I'll automatically activate it and whatnot. But yeah, so that is overall my opinion of both the betas. Wasn't necessarily impressed. I mean, I'm definitely going to obviously try and play it because as I call myself a fighting game connoisseur, I like to just, again, try and play games and whatnot. That's kind of just what I do. That's why now we want to the next thing, like Persona 4 Ultimate being announced. Yeah, I am going to get Ultimates, even with the quote-unquote lack of rollback, because, well, I just want to play Ultimate. I want Ultimate to play in a more convenient manner, especially since there's a Switch version, which means, oh, I can actually grind in this game more conveniently and kind of stay sharp. So, yeah, I am going to get Ultimates because I was even saying not too long ago with talking with Ghost, it's like, man, that'd be really cool if we get Ultimates ported to, you know, a recent console so we can play it, so rather I can play it in a more convenient manner and not through other, let's say, legal matters? Yeah, let's say that, legal matters and whatnot. But apparently, since Persona Ultimate's port is not going to have rollback, that's definitely put many people in a frenzy of like, oh, well, it's not going to have rollback, then I don't care for this game at all. Which, you know what? To be fair, if that is what some people's prerogative are, then alright, fine. You don't need to get the game. But what seems to have become now, oh, that's a trap. Okay. What seems to have now occurred is, there's still some people who like, oh, well, you know what? While it's disappointing that Ultimates is not going to have Ultimate's not going to have rollback, I still really want to play this game because either it's my only way to try to play the game, or I just want a convenient way to play the game on a modern console. Then again, his Ultimates also is having different balance changes that was never present before, which, yeah, again, it's a new experience for people. They want to try the game, and yeah, why not? let people enjoy knockout. Yeah, that's just that. Yeah. I'm not playing well. Either way, so yeah. And basically, some people are like, well, hey, if you guys actually buy, sorry, let me reset the stage, or rather, re-articulate what I'm saying. Persona 4 Ultimate is coming out March 15th, if I'm correct, on that day. And some people still want to get the game, even with it lacking rollback. And there are basically a lot of naysayers saying, well, you should have wanted this game because it's lacking rollback. And you, by getting it, you could then basically expect the game to not get rollback because the developers are going to see, well, people buying this game, they don't care about rollback that much, so we don't need to do it and whatnot. And there is some merit to that argument in a sense. There is merit to that argument. However, I guess the thing that kind of become an issue for me is, well, for starters, if someone is still wanting to play and enjoy the game because of that, then, you know, cool and dandy and whatnot. We shouldn't be harming other people or getting mad at other people how they want to spend and enjoy a product just because the product doesn't suit your needs. If you want to deprive yourself of a product because you feel it's not meeting all your marks of what an adequate product is, that is fine. But if someone else can buy it and enjoy it, then let them have it. And if you're afraid that that's going to, if anything, reinforce the developer to not really, let's say, make the changes that you think the product should have, well, then just don't stand by that product anymore. Just be like, hey, you know what? I'm just not going to play the game. You already said you're not going to play the game because it has no rollback. Then just continue to not play the game. But if someone else can, you know, play it and enjoy it, then fine, let's do that. This kind of almost go back to the story of how when Sekiro came out and Sekiro didn't have a easy mode, people were like, well, the game was designed with that in mind. It was not made to have an easy mode. Play the game as it is with easy mode, or just don't play it at all. And that is a fair sentiment. The game doesn't need to cater to every individual. Okay, I don't know why I thought I could go through that. I was thinking ES means I could probably go through it. Nope. Do I want to try again? Fuck it. Well, my score is going down. Or we just restart. If that's the case, I don't just restart. Not use a life. Or does restarting use a life? I don't know. I'll find out at another time. So, yeah. So, again, I guess, current, like they say, FGC drama is the fact that there are some people who still just basically want to grab their hands on Persona 4 Ultimates. Other people who don't want people to get it because they feel a set of prejudice to what a bad product is. Not bad. What I guess product should be. I'm losing my train of thought. So yeah, some people basically just don't want others to get this game because they feel a set of bad prejudice. And the reason why this annoys me, because one, like I said, any person should be allowed to spend their money how they see fit. But then not only that, this is also coming from the same group that are also like, hey guys, we gotta support Street Fighter. We gotta support Street Fighter because if we don't support Street Fighter, then fighting games are done and gone. Hey guys, we need to, quote unquote, all collectively work together to do something to make a certain result or trend stay up and afloat. And my issue is, okay, well, so the current trend is rollback, and I was in the rollback struggle years ago when we had GTPO. I'm like, oh, GTPO is the way. Hey guys, come away from Calera and try GTPO. GTPO is pretty freaking amazing. Oh, like GTPO is really good. And then we got products that will also have GTPO. I was saying, hey guys, hey guys, let's play Omnium Soul. It had GTPO. And all my responses to these said games with the feature either rollback or even some other feature that's popular, they were like, fuck that game. We don't care about that game. It's not in our peripheral. Fuck off. Not everyone was as belligerent at that, but the sentiment was basically, we don't care, shut up. We don't care, shut up. We don't care if this product does that. I mean, that's exactly what people say about Killer Instinct. We don't care if Killer Instinct has good rollback. We don't want to get an Xbox One, or we don't think the product is worth it. Leave us alone. We don't care if Marvel Infinite has good rollback and the gameplay is good. We still hate how it is as a product. Leave us alone. We don't care that Pocket Rumble or Fantasy Strike or a number of other freaking games have rollback. We don't care. Leave us alone. So now when we're people like, well, you know what? Persona Ultimate doesn't have rollback. Phantom Breaker doesn't have rollback. But we still want to enjoy this? Nah, fuck you guys for getting this game. You shouldn't want to play it and whatnot. And we're like, can you leave us alone? No, we won't. The hypocrisy. That's what fucking kills me about this so-called community. And it's the hypocrisy. When it's your way, we gotta cater to you. When we want it our way, fuck off. Like, it's like, it fucking kills me. Because it's just insane. It's like, okay, so are we actually really a community, or are we just a freaking group circle? Sorry, are we a circle fest of jerk face who just jumps on whatever's a trendy thing and dick ride whatever's popular, and any person who goes against the grain is an idiot, is unwanted, shouldn't be here? Okay, so Dash does have a community. Alright, so what to sell? Use my Dash. Oh, the guy still shoots. Good shit. So yeah, that's where they're like, and it kills me because again, right now I have people telling me, oh, I'm keeping us back because I want to. So I have people telling me, hey, don't get excited for Phantom Breaker. You shouldn't want to get Phantom Breaker because it doesn't have rollback. And I'm like, well, I was already playing Phantom Breaker even when it didn't have rollback because I still just didn't like the product. Can I just enjoy the fact that I like the product? No, you can't like the product because it doesn't suit my needs. But did you even care about Phantom Breaker until just now? Like, when did you care about Phantom Breaker? Like, I cared about it. I was one that imported it. I found out how to get a Japanese Xbox to get the first game. I'm the one that bought Phantom Breaker day one, called out of work, and did whatever I could so I could enjoy and play this game. But I don't think any of you guys were, because I was in dust loop form about Phantom Breaker. People didn't fucking care about it. I was in Shoryuken saying how Phantom Breaker is a decent game. No, I fucking care about it. They were saying the game's trash and garbage. I didn't get a chance to get into the Reset Era, but Reset Era was saying, oh, this game is trash. No one should even bother with this game. Alright, fine. Don't bother with the game. But then just let me enjoy the game. No, you're not allowed to enjoy the game. And I'm like, are you guys not just acting like the people with Sekiro who were like, hey, Sekiro's a bad game because they give us an easy mode. Cuphead's a bad game because they lock us out of thing if we play the game in easy mode. It's this inconsistency that fucking kills me and whatnot. Like, again, I do care about rollback, but like I said, one, I'm a fighting game connoisseur. I care about playing the game first and foremost. If that was the case, that's like saying I should not have gotten the Zoids Wild Blast game because that game doesn't even have fucking online. But no, I got it because like, it's a Zoids fighting game. I really like Zoids. It's also an 18 fighting game. I like 18. I wanted to let them know that I still like their games. So fuck it, I'm gonna get it. I still enjoyed it. And it was a good experience. Now that Yuzu's about to get rollback, since Yuzu's about to get rollback, but rather, well, I think it's gonna get rollback. But because Yuzu's about to have online play, I'm like, yo, someone see me in Zoids Wild or is it Infinity Blast? Either or. Like I say, yo, someone see me in this game. I've been playing this game and I would love to get some matches in because I think the game is nice and cool. But apparently, that's the problem. That's the problem. The fact that I want to enjoy a game of this nature and it doesn't meet other people's needs. It kills me. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm pretty confident that me and Ghost are going to talk about this eventually. And in fact, even maybe somebody else too. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get off FGC drama. What about some other things I'm doing? Because let me let you know, even though I haven't been making content and been playing games, I have been focusing on my content. In fact, I have a draft of my Phantom Breaker overview. That same project I said where I'm going to try to make a character overview video to help people get basically aware of what characters can do in their playstyle. I do have the Phantom Breaker Mizumi Wikipedia to also help with that. And that's still going to be worked on, but I wanted to definitely do a video form since most people seem to respond to a video form. And it didn't, well, no, fuck it. It just felt like it was a fun project to do. And it's been both fun and agonizing. Okay, so it continues. Do drop down my score. Note to self. So why don't I just restart every time I get killed? Because shit. Yeah, why don't I just restart every time I get killed, so I don't use a continue and don't lose points. That's something I have to explore when I get the chance. So yeah. So again, Phantom Breaker, the Phantom Breaker character overview. I got a draft. I got some people's opinions on it. I'm working with the 2 different software products. I've been learning to use Audacity for recording, and then I've been using DaVinci Resolve for the editing portion. And people were not joking when they say editing is fucking annoying. Oh boy, yes it is. It is really annoying, and it grinds my gears. But it was also thrilling because I was learning something and whatnot. And yeah, I probably should put my phone on silent. Too lazy.
Huh?
Nanya. Is that name in your business? Ha! I called it. No, for real, I'm Ann. So aliens like pets, or at least a cat, such a time matter. And Chubbs looks like he's enjoying it, which I'm gonna lie, because Anda got some nice features. They have some nice features. I won't lie.
Huh?
I love a woman who, well, let me not say woman. I don't know if that's a woman. Maybe he, she, they. Who knows? I'm gonna say we're they for now. Just a boss battle. Fun. I never really had a proper boss battle. So, can I? Okay, there we go. Oh, I can touch that. Let's see what they're about to do. Okay, so they're not. Okay, so when they're red, maybe they actually do have a hurt boss. Or not hurt boss, hit boss. Oh, if I get hit, my combo does stop. Yeah, I gotta remember that. Fair enough. Fair enough. Ooh! Okay. Scary. Scary. Well, I'm gonna have to continue because boss fight. Well, I wonder. Just beat the boss fight, and then I could come back for a better score later. All right, note to self. Yeah, I'm just kind of being too aggressive. So the Phantom Breaker character overview. I have a script done. I've already actually recorded at least maybe sort of half of it already. However, I am now reconsidering doing some additions on the script because the videos I do have to show character highlights, they kind of last much longer than the script itself, and it does seem sort of a bit jarring. And I'm not sure I want to go through the effort of just shortening the videos. I'm not really fully paying attention to that. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm still talking. So the scripts don't last as long. One of the first things I was trying to do with my script was trying to follow what I seen from the Blaze Blue Central Fiction character overview video, where I just highlighted the character's traits and strength and just kind of left it at that. But now I am reconsidering actually talking about some of the character's weakness, since other character overviews does highlight character weaknesses and whatnot. And I was trying to think I should actually consider doing that. So I've already started adding some additions to the yeah, you don't have this ability when you're using commands. That can be silly. Wait. I would have timed that, but no. Oh, I am dead. That is not. Oh, here. This dude. do it again. There we go. A, not good, but for a person not paying attention with ADHD, I don't think it was that terrible. But, yeah, so, yes, I am going to go back to start re-editing the video and add more to the script, which may make the video more longer than maybe I had initially hoped, but, it's motivating me to do it, though. Like, because in the process, I definitely got to the point of like, man, do I really want to keep doing this? I'm kind of getting tired of this because as of right now, right now you see me streaming. This is kind of the only time I was kind of playing games outside of Sunday. And like Sunday, I did play Blade Strangers online. I did a lobby session, good games to those people I played. But before that, for like the past week, I was just grinding on that script, just constantly doing that script, not really bothering trying to play games, just kept doing that script. To the point I felt like I overworked myself and just got almost nearly burned out. Like there was just many times where I didn't feel like doing this anymore because I wasn't enjoying it, and I wasn't enjoying it. So yeah, but now that there's additions I want to make to the script. Because my first goal was to kind of just get it done over so I could go do something else or start enjoying myself. But now that I actually want to talk about character's weakness, I kind of feel motivated now again to go back and add more additions and make it even better, make improvement to the video. Because one thing I am doing in the process of the video, I am trying to throw my own little flair by trying to make it a bit funny. Like I try to make sort of jokes in between it, which may be counterproductive for a video that's supposed to be teaching people. And I'm trying to tell myself like, should I really be doing that? But at the same time, making jokes actually is fun. Like it actually makes it fun and don't make it feel tedious to do so. Like, okay, I wanna like one of the jokes I made. What was the joke I made about? I'm trying to see. I don't think I made a joke with the Kodo section. I don't think I did. However, like with Waka, I did make a joke saying about how her personality kind of shows in her gameplay. How since Waka is a caring individual in the group of the cast, like she's a very caring individual, and I say she's probably too caring for her own detriment since she just doesn't want to hurt people. Thus, her damage output is low because she doesn't really want to hurt people. I mean, it's not really a good joke, but maybe it's a very dry joke. But it was fun doing that though. Like, I had fun trying to do something like that and whatnot. Instead of just, hey, just stick to the information, stick to the facts and whatnot. So maybe I'm trying to see why some people actually, do certain jokes and script whatever they do, because sometimes it makes it fun. Now I definitely don't want the jokes to overstay themselves, so that's why I try to keep it small and minimal. But it did make it fun. And you guys are new. Oh, okay. You guys are new. Okay, I gotta know which one of my specialists does the most damage, because I need to kill you guys. Wait, please! Is it this one? Does this kill? It bounces. Oh, but I guess that's fine. Okay, shoot. There we go. Ah, of course. Actually, isn't there a super? I'm pretty confident there was supers. I can't remember. Oh dear. I did that twice and I got hit and my combo was wrong. I suck. That's happened. And that happened. That's what I get for not paying attention. But yeah, so that's what's been, if anything, going on. Okay, there are checkpoints, so I guess when you do continue, you can start back from the checkpoint as opposed to restarting the stage. Cause I imagine restarting the stage will take you back from, which one is it? Start the stage. That's it. Restart level, restart stage. See, that was easy peasy. We didn't even make it that more difficult than it was. So, yeah. So that's what's going on with the Phantom Breaker overview. Actually, today is apparently considered, I think, Los Angeles Con, where apparently Phantom Breaker is being first time debuted it for people to play. So I'm definitely looking to try. No! That's what I get for walking around when I have a timer. Oh, you know, I already want to restart this stage. But, oh, it is what it is. Of course, dodge, dash, dodge, whatever. Whatever's the disability. So, yeah, going back to Los Angeles Con. Phantom Breaker is going to debut there. So I'm definitely looking forward to see if we have some match videos recorded and share. Hopefully they're going to. They haven't said anything about it. They mentioned it yesterday, like, hey, people who's going to Los Angeles Con, you can play Phantom Breaker. So I'm hoping they're gonna, well, have match videos to showcase and whatnot. Because one of the things I guess I want to know foremost is if they are going to allow rounds. Do rounds carry resource over? Because there's some things seem to suggest that, and even when I asked Rocket Panda in Discord, like, hey, is that what Phantom Breaker Omnia's gonna do? Now have resource carry over? Because that's going to starkly change the game's meta if that is the case. Oh, I should have paid attention to that. So yeah, that's going to starkly change the game's meta because of that. So hopefully when they start showing, hopefully when people are at the Los Angeles convention, we can see, hey, do we have rounds? And if we do got rounds, do resource start over? And then of course try to pick up on what are some of the other stuff that happens. But like I say right now, the only reason I'm leaning on that rounds are going to be, that's right, that they're going to go with the route of rounds keep resources is because one, and with the tension mode changes where every time tension mode happens in Phantom Breaker, the timer increase. It first starts at, I believe, 5 seconds, then it goes to 7 seconds, then I think 8, and then 10 seconds. Now, tension mode, like getting tension modes at least twice, that's very possible and whatnot. That's very possible. 3 times, not so much. 4 times, I would imagine someone would be dead by then due to how much resource a character would have. And then there's the fact that now Omnia style has its own little full meter super move in outer range. But to get that, you need to have 400 stock. And in old Phantom Breaker, it was very rare that you had 3 stocks, let alone 4 stock. So I'm like, you know what? If they are going to push for people to have full stock in Omnia of 4 gauges, then more than likely they want them to, more than likely they will want resources to carry over, because that's when you can actually, well, quote unquote, use these these expensive meter options. And I guess I'm still trying to figure out how do I feel about that per se. Since I did felt meter management was one of the stronger, well, sorry, let me think that was a core thing. Like, because meter options are so strong in Phantom Breaker, it made sense that we started over, because starting with resource next round, you really drastically change how you have to approach, because now someone has meter. So in round 1, you can't even dare super jump, because if someone has a bar, so if someone has a bar, if someone has enough resources, they can be like, well, if you dare super jump, I'm going to immediately use my super and have air unblockable properties and whatnot. And there are a lot of level 1 super that are just pretty strong and devastating tools, unless they rebalance them around the idea like, okay, people are going to have meter more often now because we're not going to restart it. But I'm not sure that's going to be the case, because they did really say, hey, Omnia is going to be very close to Phantom Breaker Extra. So yeah, I mean, I'm just curious to see what we're going to do, whatnot. Since, well, you know what, I guess here's one interesting that'd be cool. Like right now, because meter options are so good, and because in Phantom Breaker Extra, you had meter options, it was kind of sort of ideal to just kind of spend it more or less, because you weren't going to have it in next round. But at the same time, because when you use a high power meter options, you also gave your opponent meter to use right back at you. So you really only want to kind of go AWOL on your meter if you're sure it's going to kill. So then you didn't have to worry about them using it right back against you next round. But now you can be like, all right, round one, all right, my opponent's at low life. Instead of trying to figure out something, I could just use my Phantom Breaker and probably one-shot them. And one-shot them and whatnot. But Waka, one of the reasons why Waka is a character who's like B tier, I am digressing, bear with me. Like Waka, the reason why she's like B tier in Phantom Breaker, because while she has good combos, good range, ability to pressure up and whatnot, her meter options were never really good, or better yet, it was never really considered good to use her Phantom Breaker unless you know it was going to kill, because her Phantom Breaker did so much hit that it gave opponent meter positive, meter. So yeah, it kept opponent meter positive, because her, like say her quick stop Phantom Breaker, it did like 56 hits, and basically the opponent will always have enough bar to use their own Phantom Breaker in the process. So now, if we're going to have meters carry over next round, basically it wouldn't be behooving for Waka to use her Phantom Breaker to close out a round, because one, when you do use something like Phantom Breaker, your bar goes to the overheat, and when you overheat, you can't build meter, but your opponent's going to have full bar to do what they want. And if tension mode also even carries over, then it's also possible for them to just almost maybe one-shot you in the next round. Now, technically, there is already a game that has something like that going on. And that's Blade Stranger and whatchamacallit? Let's say Blade Arceus. Like Blade Arceus. Blade Arceus is a game that you need to have 3 rounds for that game, because how much meter management plays into that. Because I just seen the match video where if someone gets a first hit, which gives a meter bonus, they could do a combo that could do roughly 80% on their first touch. 80% on the first touch. So it's very easily to like just touch a person one time and they're almost nearly dead. So to kind of circumvent that, you could basically use your meter in the first round and maybe even second round to, just blow through your opponent. But now you have no meter in the third round, thus your opponent can basically be like, well, I got all the resources in the world, and if I play careful with my resources, I can basically still do a better endurance match than what you did in the beginning of blowing all your meter and whatnot. So even if Phantom Breaker does go the route of where we carry resources around, I'm not so scared to the point of like, oh, this might ruin or hurt the game. But it is something that's going to make me have to think differently about the game, per se. So, yeah. I'm anxious to see how that's going to turn out, what we're going to do. Are we going to go the route of doing 2 rounds? Like, if meter does carry over, I'm definitely going to go with the idea that matches need to be best 3 out of 5 at that point, because how strong meter options tend to be. Granted, maybe they actually nerfed them going into Omnia, which may even still again change how the game meta plays going forward. So again, it's gonna be a very interesting thing to see. But let me start saying interesting now. Sound like a broken record. Oh, I'm not doing as well, and that was quick. That was quick. How much they dogpiled and took me out. But yes, so that's me rapidly going into so yeah, that is me going into this current new year. About to do a podcast with one of my homeboy Ghosts. About to go further in more of my content creation with Phantom Breaker related products and maybe some other stuff around the way. And we're now clocking in at an hour, and you know what? I think that's okay, because now it's 10 and I want to see if Dual Souls is not available. And maybe I might stream that if I still have time left. It's like 10 o'clock, so usually the store upstate around this time. It's not showing on the website, so not sure. Yes, definitely not sure. So, all right. So with that said, yeah, let's go and cut the stream off today. Nice to see you guys, everybody. Take care. Thank you for joining me, and catch you later.